Okay, I am back. I just pulled up in my U-Haul. I'm wearing a mic, but I don't think it's connected, so I don't know. I think it needs to be charged up. But I'm back. Here's my U-Haul vehicle. So what I did this morning is I went and I got the car trailer thing taken off with my car, and I left that at the U-Haul place, my car. They wouldn't keep the U-Haul truck because they're like, that's a big liability for them because it has all my stuff in it. And so they were okay with me leaving the car there, which is actually what I was planning on doing. I hate driving around this big thing because it's a gas guzzler and it is not very easy to maneuver. Don't like driving it, but here it is. So I just came to check in at the place today because I don't I can't unload anything. So the new shed that's coming is going to be placed right here. So the neighbor's fence, I don't know if you can see the neighbor's fence is kind of that way. So I'm gonna try to put it about 50 feet from the neighbor's fence. And because that's should be an easement, even though I don't think the neighbor has their easement factored in. And then, so it's gonna be facing this direction. It's gonna be facing where I'm standing right now. And eventually along that area, it's just gonna be my garden. So some activity, look at my view. I just love that. So a lot of activity happened while I wasn't here. My road septic guy got some work done for me. This is his tractor, whatever you call this thing. And so, surprise, surprise, I've got the beginnings of, what is this? What is this? The beginnings of my poop bucket. My septic system is getting put in. And honestly, I had no idea he got this far with it. I know he told me he was here digging the hole, and I did not know he had it delivered already. So a little bit of a surprise, but I am happy about pleasant surprises. So the plumbing and electrical stuff are gonna get started hopefully this week. Hopefully. It's Wednesday now, so maybe it's gonna be next week. But so this, I guess this is where the leach field is gonna be, where the lines are gonna be, going that way. But as you can see, there's a lot going on this side of the property. I mean, I have 10 acres to work with, but I'm like scrunching everything up on this side. It's the most open because I have so many trees. I mean, I wanted trees, but I have an overabundance of trees, which is good. That means even if I thinned it out and took out some trees, I know people are gonna freak out when they hear take out some trees, but come on, this is a monoculture with 50 million of the same trees. So I think I can afford to take out a few of them and use them for good purpose like firewood, use the leaves as mulch and things like that. So the trees are not going to suffer needlessly. They're still going to supply my needs. So like I said, I'm gonna count off 50 feet from the fence there, and I'm gonna have the shed face this way. And so this is gonna end up being a storage shed for now, where all the stuff that's in the U-Haul is gonna get put into that shed. And then from there, once the house is finished, I'll put my stuff in the house, of course, along with the other stuff. I also have a 40-foot shipping container that I own that will be, the stuff won't fit in this house. So eventually I'm going to have to add a second part to it. So long story there, I'll get into that shortly. But for right now, once I get everything out of the shed, once the house is finished, I will turn that into my design studio because I will be continuing my business as an interior designer. And when you're an interior designer, if you're familiar with what we do, we have a lot of samples. We have a lot of fabric samples and, material samples that we have to kind of keep on hand so we can work on projects. And so I'll need a place for that, and setting up my computer and all that good stuff. So that's what's going to happen there. Now, whoop, we had a cow visit me, it looks like. So I see cow patties here. And so by next week, I'll be in full gear, full work mode to kind of get things going. Kind of waiting for funds to become available on certain things that I'm doing right now. So that's what's kind of causing the delay, because moving is very expensive. Just getting this U-Haul and the trailer and everything was quite expensive. And not to mention buying gas on the way here. And then stopping at hotels, and so all of these things add up. And listen, I watched some of these YouTube videos of people who, they're moving cross country, or they're setting up their homestead, and they're, oh yeah, we did this for like really cheap, and if you have $500 you can set up. And I'm just like, please show me how to do that. I definitely want to do that, but that is not the reality for me. Everything I touch costs money, everything. And I know I'm not doing it in the very basic way, which I commend anybody who's doing that, because that is amazing. That's what I wish I could do. But I had so much stuff. And while I decided, okay, I'm going to get rid of most of my stuff, which I did, believe it or not, as an interior designer, I've been practicing interior design for about 20 something years. Well, not 20 something. Let me rephrase that. For almost 20 years. It's about 18, 19 years. I've been introduced to the industry and started my journey over 20 years, but I officially launched my business, I think in 2007. I launched my business. And you acquire stuff. Some of the things are things, let's just say, for example, a client hired me to do a living room. And, I'm selling them a sofa and some chairs and whatever. And you go to one of the vendors that we use, because we use wholesale vendors. And let's just say I go to one of the vendors to buy the sofa. Well, every single one of our vendors, or at least most of them, have what we call a minimum requirement for what you need to purchase. So every purchase that you're making from them, you have to buy a minimum amount in dollar amount. And then you also have to meet a minimum per year that you have to buy from them in order to keep your good standing with them, in order to get the discounts that they give, or to get the best pricing. So volume matters greatly. And so what happens sometimes is, if I'm going to buy this sofa for this client and I don't meet that minimum, I end up having to buy something else that I actually don't need. I try to not make that happen a whole lot, and it doesn't happen a ton after you kind of get yourself established. But over time, you buy stuff that you actually don't necessarily need, thinking, okay, I'm just going to sell it back to the next client, and then that doesn't always happen, that you get to sell it back to the next client because it didn't quite work. And I have integrity. I don't want to just stick something into somebody's house just because I already have it. It needs to work perfectly for them. So over the years, I've gathered stuff, and stuff will come in damaged sometimes, and the vendors will say, okay, well, don't ship it back, just because they have to replace it. And if it's like something that's like not on the super expensive side, they'll just say, just donate that item, or keep it, or destroy it, or whatever. They don't care what you do with it. And a lot of times we donate some of these items, but sometimes we end up keeping them, or they're just stuck in storage and we just forgot about them or something like that. So over time, and then for various other reasons, moving from different houses as an interior designer, if I live in one house and I'm moving to another house, all of a sudden I'm getting new furniture to accommodate the other house. So, it became one of the negative sides of my career, because and just of my talent, of my skill set, because my skill set is always to live in a home that looks nice. And so I end up spending money on furniture over time. And remember, we're talking about, I'm 52 years old. We're talking about from my early 20s. I'm doing this. So over time, you just accumulate a lot of stuff. And so when it became time for me to get rid of the stuff, that became so hard. I donated so much stuff. I gave away so much stuff to friends and people who wanted it. And I sold so much stuff, and I still had so much stuff left over. There are certain things that I was like really committed to not getting rid of, but it was such a small percentage compared to what I had. So I just ended up, now this in this truck is mostly household goods, like small items like clothing, pots and pans, just the things that, because after I moved out all the furniture and put them in a shipping container that ended up being full, I had just little minor things left behind that I needed to stay comfortable in the house. So I had like my bedroom furniture, which it was just a bed and two nightstands, and so that's really all the furniture that's in there. Maybe one chair and two ottomans. That's all the furniture. Mostly in there are just things from clothing, household things, toiletry type stuff, that and garden stuff. I had some of my gardening stuff in there, and so that's what's in that truck right now. So the 40-foot container at some point. So what the plan is, and I think I may have posted another video with the plans that I have for that, and that is going to end up being sooner than later, because I was thinking that's probably going to be far away from now, but actually I need to speed that up because I'm paying storage for where that shipping container is right now, and it's not expensive. It's like $100 a month. But so the house, I'm calling this a house, it's a cabin. I'm going to have an extension added on, probably about 16 by 20 in the middle right here, right next to it, well, attached to it. And then the shipping container is going to go right there. So basically it's a shipping container that's going to be, I know it's going to be ugly, but I'm an interior designer, so I can do my magic and make it look good. So scratch that, I don't use the word magic. I'm going to use my skill set and make it look good. So the shipping container is going to sit about 16 feet from this, or 20 feet. I don't know how big I'm going to do it yet. And in the same direction. And then eventually I'm going to build it out and then have this as an extension. So the extension is going to end up being maybe like a big living room or something like that. And then the shipping container will have like 2 bedrooms in it. This will end up becoming the dining room, kitchen, and 1 bedroom in there. So yeah. Now, as far as the looks of it, like I said, it's probably not going to be the prettiest building in the world, but I can use my skill set, and paint will do work wonders to it. Put in some nice windows, make sure the roof line, things like that will make it look good. So that is probably going to be the most expensive venture, but I'm going to try to make it work by I'm going to say maybe by summer of next year. So because I need a place for the rest of my stuff. And so this is going to probably end up being about 1,100 square feet by the time it's all done. And then I'll actually add like a deck in the front here, and maybe in the back as well, so I can enjoy the views. But so these are the plans, and I know I mentioned those plans in a previous video, but I wanted to make sense of things today in my own head. So let's take a walk inside. I'm going to put my coat in. All right, so we're inside, and this is what we had framed. So the island, I don't know why he framed this, but it was nice of him to frame an island, but I don't need that. It's gonna actually be cabinetry for the island. So here is my teeny tiny bedroom. There's a bug in here. Let me let it out. Oh man, you're stuck in here, buddy. Let's let you out, come on. Come on, go on. Go on, you can go out. Okay, sorry about that. Teeny tiny bedroom back here. Now, the way I look at it is like, I don't need a big bedroom. I just need to be able to fit a bed in here and a dresser. So I'm actually going to, sorry, I'm breathing hard because elevation issues. Whenever I come here for the first few days, I breathe very heavy. I think he went out. Hold on 1 second. I think it went out. It's so happy for its freedom. No? You're here? No, you're still here. Okay. All right. So I'm actually going to probably do a built-in bed in here, believe it or not. So I can maximize the storage, maybe have some storage under it. Even though I have my bed in the truck, I have 2 beds actually. I have one in the shipping container and I have one on the U-Haul. I'm probably just going to end up doing a built-in bed in here, so I can have some storage under it. And then on this wall will be a dresser and a TV above it. And the dresser will have quite a bit of room in it for stuff. In here is the bathroom. So I'm gonna do like a shower, a stand-up shower, toilet, and the sink will go here. This will be the washer dryer in this little area right here. And I'm gonna stack them. And then the kitchen, I want the kitchen to be big, and that's why I sacrificed like a bedroom space. And the thing is that at first I was just like, oh my gosh, it's such a tiny bedroom. But I realized that I really just sleep in my bedroom. I don't really hang out in there. This is like a little pantry as well. So this is where I'm gonna have some food storage. So the way I'm gonna do here, I wanna have a huge kitchen because eventually this will be a dining room over here. So I'm going to turn this maybe into, well, it's gonna still be a door, but once the shipping container gets added and the addition over there, what I will end up doing is closing this off so it's not an access point. It will remain like a little porch. You can go out and hang out there, but this will be the dining room. And the entrance will be from the addition. So I wanted the kitchen to be big enough to match the addition that I'm doing. So I'm looking towards the future with the kitchen versus now. So the kitchen is going to be about, from that wall to that wall, I believe is about 11 feet. I'm gonna have a wood stove over on this wall right here. The island is gonna be a little bit bigger. So like I said, I'm not sure why he built me that, but that's gonna come out. And eventually this will be opened up, and so it can go into the addition. And so this will end up becoming maybe a guest bedroom at some point in time, because with the addition, with the shipping container, I'll probably have my bedroom over there with a bigger closet, because there's no closet in here at this point. So I kind of built it with the intent for this not being everything over time. Now, my interior design tendencies is to go big or go home, but I'm not going big, I promise. This is just having enough space so my kids may come at some point, so where I can have a couple other bedrooms and a place for like my furniture that I already have. And I'm still trying to sell some stuff actively, by the way, too, so I'm trying to limit. And the big storage up there is just gonna be food storage and, you know, blankets and things that I don't use all the time. This window is going to come out, and I'm going to actually put a window underneath the cooktop, the stove. So I have a beautiful 48-inch stove that I bought for the property that I'm selling right now. And I could have left it with the property, but it's such a beautiful stove. I thought, let me bring it with me. So I brought it with me. And it's huge. It's too big. Like if I had to buy a stove, I definitely would not buy a 48-inch stove for a space like this. But I already had it, so that's what's gonna go here. So I'm gonna actually put a window above the stove. I know it's not very common to see that, but it actually happens in the interior design world. We put a window above the stove, trying to figure out some kind of hood set up, even though I really don't usually turn on my hood, the vent over my hood. Like I can't stand the noise when I'm cooking. So I don't know, I may decide not to do one and just kind of deal with food smells in the house. So this window is gonna end up going over here. Actually, I'm gonna put it in the bedroom, and then we're gonna have to find a way to kind of close that in and find you know, the exterior material to close it off so it looks seamless from the outside. I may go back to the shed company and have them supply that for me. And then over in this one, I'm just gonna have storage as usual here as well. So I know I'm saying a lot and it all doesn't make sense until I put it into action. But for now, I'm just gonna make this as comfortable as possible. I thought it would be colder in here. It actually feels good in here. It's not super cold outside though, but so I'm trying to get this finished out enough so I can move into it though. And the addition stuff is gonna come later after I've settled on the land and start doing stuff. So it's a big plan, and it's a plan that I wanna execute fairly quickly, but it's not the immediate plan. Phase one is finishing this out, being able to move in here, and I'm actually gonna be headed to Home Depot this week maybe on Friday. I'm gonna go order the cabinets. The cabinets I'm doing are the flat panel cabinets. I thought about doing IKEA cabinets, but I don't want to deal with having to assemble them. So I'm just going to go order the flat panel cabinets from Home Depot, and need to get more precise measurements though. And the island, like I said, doesn't count because it's going to be cabinets there. And I have all the marble countertop materials in my U-Haul. So all of that material I had left over from the house, and because I built the house, I did not let them just take all the extra materials. I mean, I have slabs and slabs of countertop materials that I can use in here. So it, probably enough to do everything I need to do. So that's what I'm gonna do. They're all sitting on a truck right now. They're super heavy and they're actually marble. So that's what's gonna come in here. So it's gonna look fancy, but on a smaller scale fancy though. So, but yeah, so that is the plan, and can't wait to start putting it into action. I know that's why you guys are here. You want to see action, and that's what I want to give you, action. But I gotta kind of talk through things first. All right, let's lock this up. Oops, I'll lock it in a second. I need 2 hands for that. But yeah, I'm so happy that I have my septic going in. And you know, I was willing to do the bucket thing for a while, but and this kind of moved really, really fast because I just mentioned to my his name is James. You hear me refer to him in other videos. So I just mentioned to him that okay, I want to go ahead and start getting the permits and everything going, and he just took initiative and started getting all this stuff done. So I'm excited that we're at a point where I may have septic by next week. Well, it needs to get approved and all that, but yeah. So all right, let me get back to some working here, and then I will pick up another video maybe later.